Welcome to the Superabound Podcast, where vision-led entrepreneurs learn to build a generous business without sacrificing what matters most. You are listening to episode 336, From Idea to Thriving Business. And I'm live here today on video. If you'd like to watch podcasts rather than listen, we are on YouTube at the Superabound channel. And I'm here with Steve today.
Hey, Erin. Hey, everybody. Nice to be here.
It's been a while.
Always a pleasure.
And today we are talking about really taking a concept or a business idea and turning it into something real. The inspiration for this episode, as anyone who's listened to this podcast knows, we both primarily work with pre-established business owners. We work with startup founders, we work with business owners across a multiple number of industries. And usually, by the time someone is ready to work with us at the VIP level, what they are looking for is a way of growing, thriving, and being that does not require the overworking, the burnout episodes that most business owners have experienced to get to a certain level of success.
And that's something we love doing. We feel like we're well suited to support those people, but our heart is always with the new folks as well. There's something special about having an idea, wanting to set off on your own, break free from the rat race, launch something that you believe needs to live in the world, whatever that purpose is at that beginning stage. That is precious. That's something that we love doing ourselves, being involved with as coaches, and it's an amazing moment in business. So we're excited to share some insights with you about how we've seen people do it successfully, how we've done it successfully ourselves. And we also have a surprise for you about a program that we're offering that Erin is leading for doing exactly that. So here we go.
Yeah. So don't give away too many spoilers first.
We'll all be in the
Um,
program.
the interesting thing is I think it's just come up so often in the last little while. Every couple months, someone will come to me. They know that I'm a business coach. They know that Steve is a business coach. They know that we are involved with helping businesses grow. And they want to tell me about an idea that they have. And you might think like, oh, Erin, you must be so bored of hearing people's just like random business ideas. I actually never am. I get very excited when someone has a new business idea, even when my clients come with like a new program idea or a new branch of their business. I think that that concept phase is, as you said, Steve, like really precious. It often is the moment in your business where you are the most connected to the bigger vision, the bigger why, the bigger like legacy that you want to leave in this world. So I love those moments. I think it's really amazing. But more often than not, especially if the person who I'm talking to is not already an entrepreneur, the idea goes no further because the truth is, starting a business from scratch is very hard. Um, Inspiration is not enough when you have to figure out how to pay your team. Inspiration is not enough when you have to figure out how to deliver on what you promised your customers. There are so many storms internally. There's a lot of static. It's a reason that we say a lot that business is a spiritual practice because when you are putting your idea, your product, your service, your heart out into the world, you are putting it also up into the world for criticism, for feedback you didn't ask for some people not being into it. And that can really affect your self-confidence if it's not already very solid. And it will illuminate parts of you, parts of your relationship with yourself, parts of your relationship with the opinions of others that maybe you have kept safely stowed away for most of your life.
So you've already touched on three of the most important
Oh, good.
components of going from an idea to a successful business. And these are within the first, I don't remember the exact order of the modules that the program covers, but these are within that first chunk of that 12-week program. And the first one is your why. When you're going from an idea to an established business, it can't just be, oh, I can make a lot of money from this,
Yeah.
right? Like that has to be part of it. There has to be like an economic opportunity there, and that's probably what has the wheels turning for either launching a new product or for, starting a new business. But the most important part has to be who are you as the founder, and why does this thing need to exist? How does this align with your legacy? So
Mhm.
starting and really tuning into and amplifying that why is going to be fundamental for being successful in that process from 0 to 1, from nothing to something.
Yeah. What are the other two things?
So the
I'm
first
like,
was the
oh, I'm very
why. Uh,
curious.
the second was doing something about it, not
Yeah.
just being inspired, but
Hmm.
actually taking action that puts your idea into the world in ways that people could buy it or not buy it. But if you get that yes or that no, you've got some information, which is better than it just living in your head and asking your mom if she'd be into it. There's got to be real feedback from the market for you to see, is this working? What do I need to change? How do I move? So the action. And then the third that you mentioned is the inner turmoil, the
Yeah.
static.
The static.
And so knowing where you stand with each of those and how to take action with each of those, how to deal with the static that comes up, your own inner state as a founder, as a business owner, whether new or experienced, is everything. And that's why we start with it in the program. And that's the jumping off point for success of going from an idea to a successful business.
And because Steve is just committed to spoiling the surprise, we're just going to talk about it now. It's okay. Basically, what's been happening is I have been talking to so many people with this spark. And normally I just say, oh, sorry, we don't really work with brand new business owners. We really tend to, just because of the nature of our program and the way that our business works, we tend to only work with people who are established in a smaller, high value, higher level container. And then I was like, well, that's really stupid. if if there are people who I know I can help, who need not only some structure, because structure is helpful, especially when you're at the beginning, but structure that is supportive to you as a human who does not want to burn out, structure that is working in alignment with your vision and values. I'm a big believer that we can have thriving businesses without alienating our customers, without spamming people online all day. The sales and the marketing part does not have to be icky for you to be successful financially. Um, and it really does help to have some of these mindset tools from day one, because otherwise, you are just going to attack your business idea in whatever way you have been trained. And most of us have been trained to overwork, to push too hard, that it's going to be a grind, that it's going to be terrible. And while I do believe that running a business is a particular type of challenge, um, it can be spiritual, it can be fulfilling, it can feel, when it starts to really work, like a, there can be just be a deeper confidence and resilience and a beautiful life that can unfold, because now you're finally doing what is most aligned with you, what is your particular special work in the world, and creating financial success, which, you know, love it or hate it, it's really important to have money in this world that we're living in.
And I also want to just run with something you mentioned there around, you didn't say it, but what came to mind was work-life balance.
Hmm.
This is not about work-life balance.
Hmm.
It's about work-life integration, about work-life harmony,
Hmm.
where your work is an expression of your life.
Mhm.
It's an expression of who you want to be and the impact that you want to have. That's really what's possible with having your own business. And if that is what's kind of speaking to you about creating something, then that is something to follow because that's precious.
Yeah. And so I created this program called Superabound Business Foundations, and it is a 12-week guided, I'm going to call it a journey. That might sound a little bit like whimsical, but it really is a 12-week journey to take you from this idea that's in your mind through the development stage. One of my coaching creative superpowers is being able to hear what someone's idea is and see how that could become a program or a product, or see the marketing channels that would really speak to an ideal client. And usually, this is work that I've only ever done with my VIP, highest level, highest paying clients because it is more creative work. And I do need to really understand what it is you want to create. But it really occurs to me that people who are in this beautiful spark stage, who have the most connection to their big vision and what they want to create, really sometimes need the guidance and support of someone who can take that and turn it into a program, who can say, this is probably the price range of your people, because I do work across so many different industries. Um, it's like bringing some of that experience that I have to your vision and creating something that's unique and stands out from maybe other people around you that have similar styles of business.
So yeah, I mean, Erin's just basically going through all the different parts of the journey there with you. The marketing of your offer, the creation of your offer, the selling of your offer. These are all things that people get tripped up on.
Yeah, they stop before they even start, usually, not even get tripped up on. They just go, nope,
The idea
don't
of it
like it.
is so scary that people are like, nope. Or they launch something and they're like, why isn't anyone buying it? What's going on? So wherever you are in that stage, you're gonna have Erin's entrepreneurial brain on the task with you. That's one of the big powers of coaching. And this is one of the secrets of going from an idea to a thriving business is having a team, having a coach, having someone in your corner that can work with you through the tricky spots because they will come up, whether it's being intimidated to get your offer out there or, people not responding to it the way that you had wanted.
Mhm.
Having support is key in success.
Okay, I want to argue with that a little bit
Okay.
because when you say coaching, Steve, I think you're talking about the way that we work. You're talking about super around coaching. My big problem with a lot of quote unquote business coaching out in the world that, people who are not trained by us, people who've never kind of heard of our methodology, is a lot of time what people will call coaching are two totally different things. They will call coaching giving you advice. It'll be like, here's what I did 20 years ago to build my business,
Yeah.
and here's the playbook for following what I did to build my business. And let me coach you, which is just code for let me tell you exactly what to do, and you better follow what I say if you want to have a business. And that can work. But for most people, I think the tricky thing is the world does not look the way it did 20 years ago. Um, the world does not look the way it looked 2 years ago. It is ever changing. And a lot of hardcore old school quote unquote business coaches are very attached to the way things were and the way that things used to work and have not maybe expanded their horizon to understand like could AI be something that might help me here. Maybe you're not into AI. Okay, you don't want to use any AI at all. Okay, so here's the team that you might need to build. Here's the marketing channels that are relevant for you and your people. You have to have someone in your corner for that type of what I will call more strategic thinking partnership, who's adaptable and will work with you in the context of you and your values and your vision. And a lot of hardcore, old school business coaches with air quotes absolutely cannot do that because they haven't expanded their experience beyond whatever they did in the past. Then we have another kind of faction of coaching and quote unquote business coaches, again, who will never tell you what to do, will never offer you their advice, experience, or tell you anything about what they've seen because their belief is that they are only there to unlock your inner wisdom. They are only there to coach you on your mindset, to help you think quote unquote better thoughts. A lot of air quotes today. Sorry, everybody who's watching this. My hands are flying. And of course, mindset work is beautiful. Of course, unlocking your intuition is useful. But I would never pay a business coach a dime if they weren't going to give me some of their wisdom. So, what we are attempting to do when we create any program is bring the strategic thinking partnership, bring our own experiences and what we've seen that's working currently for ourselves and our clients across the board, and bridge it with what is right for you in your unique vision, for your business, for how you want to grow, and how you want this business to work in the context of your life. So it is much more of a collaborative type of coaching. Um, if I think something's a bad idea, I'll tell you and I'll tell you why. And you can still try it, and then we'll coach about that. Um, I never claim as a coach that I've got the right answer, but I also won't let someone waste their time, their energy, their money, or their brain power on something that we know isn't really working for other people right now.
Yeah. And so this kind of coaching is an accelerant for your progress.
It's a good
You
word.
get insight on where you're coming from. You can handle the static, the inner turmoil that comes up in entrepreneurship. And you also get ideas, suggestions, reflections from, the considerable experience in the mind and experience of your coach.
Listen, it's more than that because I will also read your content. I will give you feedback. I am not here to say, well, what do you think about that social media post? We'll say, does this really fit your brand voice? Here's why I think it does, or here's why what you might want to consider because I'm not sure it's really landing. Um, I, it's even hard to sometimes call myself a coach because I know that that's kind of breaking the rules that a lot of people put up there. But the point of this particular program is to help you go from the idea in your mind right now to ideally welcoming your first customers in 12 weeks. Of course, I cannot guarantee that that will happen because you have to put in the work to make that happen, and every business is different. But you will walk away with the tools to help you do that. And you will have my help not only for that 12 weeks, but for an additional 3 months within a private community afterwards. Um, this is a really special program. It is a fraction of the price of working with me as a VIP client because I know the people who are coming into this are new. This might be your very first investment in your brand new business. So I want to make it a little more available than someone who is well established and we are just gonna rocket to the moon.
And yeah, if you consider the the that starting point of your business, it's precious, it's also delicate.
Mhm.
There's only so much time that that idea has to sprout once you start putting energy into it.
Yeah.
Let's say you're going to do it with nights and weekends. You only have so many nights and weekends where you're going to have that energy. Let's say you have some money saved up. You're going to do, you know, jump off the hamster wheel and go full time into your business. There's only so much runway that you have for that full
Yeah.
time commitment to it. And the more you can pad your success, the higher you can make that takeoff line, the more successful, the better your chances of actually uh, the better your chances of achieving liftoff will be, right? One of the big things with starting a business is how do you actually get it successful? So many of them fail. The better your initial conditions for starting are, the better your chances for not being in the failure bucket will be.
Yeah. I mean, if I was going to really simplify it, I'm sure there could be other reasons, but I think that businesses fail because business owners are stubborn and not stubborn enough. It's a bit of a paradox, but you have to be humble and open and receive the feedback that the world is giving you. At the same time, you have to be stubborn enough to believe in your vision long before you have any customers or clients, long before anyone wants to join your team, long before people, think you might be onto something. Nobody joined my little business bandwagon for years. Steve can tell you that he really, I mean, well, maybe you should tell it. We've shared this before on the podcast, but when I started my coaching business, as supportive as you, I don't want to say pretended to be, but
That's
like
really
you
supportive.
were like supportive of the idea and supportive of me. You were
Yeah.
supportive of me, but you did not believe that the business was going to like last this long.
I mean, knowing you, it makes sense that it did.
Okay, but what did you really think?
Well, so my actual thought was there are only so many yoga students that are going to make the jump from studying with you as a yoga student to coaching with you as a coach.
Yeah. Steve thought when my yoga students,
Silly me.
yeah, which I do have people who I've worked with since day one. I have one client who really stands out who was a yoga student of mine. And when I stopped teaching yoga and became a coach, joined me in that space, or maybe during that crossover, and is still today one of my favorite clients. I mean, all my clients are my favorite, but you know, she's been with me for a long time and really made that leap. But most people that I work with, I have only met within the last few years. They've come to know me as a coach because I was stubborn enough to believe that there was something missing in this world for business owners, for leaders, for people with an idea who wanted to see it grow and wanted it to bring beauty into their life, not just financially, but in terms of purpose and fulfillment and living the vision. And so this program is an attempt to help more people do that much, much sooner. I may only do this once. If we love it, we might do it once a year, but this is something that is really special, very different from what I normally do. So if you're interested, if this is kind of piquing your interest, you want some more details, first of all, please know that this is a small program. This is a training. I will be meeting with people, but because I can only have my content whispering and my brain on so many businesses at a time, we are capping this at a very small number of participants. And we have a little early bird discount. If you're listening to this when the podcast comes out, if you sign up to join us and be one of those few people before September 20th, 2025, you'll get a $2,000 little discount on not a little discount, it's a big discount.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's a big discount, big, giant, juicy discount on the program so that you can keep a little more money in your pocket and invest that back into your business. But for bang for your buck, like, I don't often talk about program pricing. This is one of the best investments I think you can make because not only will you have tools of the mindset piece to get you going, but I'm going to give you as much practical support as I can. I want you to thrive. I want to see you succeed. And I'll do everything I can with all of the resources that I have to support you to do that.
Yeah.
I won't do your taxes. I won't set up your LLC.
But we know people.
But we can, yeah, we know people, but also we have Google. So
Oh, sure that. Yeah, so we encourage you to come take a look, to join us, grab one of those spots. The website with all the details is at besuperabound.com/business. So it's at our site /business.
And if for any reason you are new to this world and you're like, can I really trust this person? Um, as just a little side note, you might have been listening to my podcast with my friend Alana. Um, we are, Elena and I are doing this show where we're sharing some really honest things about our industry. And I think that apply to most customer service based service based industries. Um, I shared in the last couple of episodes some true horror stories about my interactions with people who are in my position. So, because of those things, I take my clients really seriously. I take you and your business very seriously because I never want you to have an experience like I did. So if you're curious, if you just want to hear my horror stories, please check out the coaching mixer, besuperabound.com /the coaching mixer or /coaching mixer. There's no the. And you can get some gossip. Let's call it gossip. It's just gossip, but it's my truth for your entertainment and it may inform why we do take this so seriously.
So thank you for listening, and we hope to see you there in the program. Let us know if you have any questions, any thoughts, any feedback. We love hearing from the folks that are listening in. We're on Instagram at besuperabound, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.